everybody has times in their life where they feel like, oh my God, it's just so hard. I'm struggling with my mind, or I'm struggling with whatever. And then you realize you can change everything. You can change everything starting right now, not tomorrow. You could start right now. There's absolutely no reason that you couldn't start building $1 million real estate business right now.
Welcome to the $1 Million Magic Podcast, where Jennifer Jones talks to industry leaders in the real estate world and beyond. From scaling businesses to manifesting health, wealth, and happiness. It's time to unlock your next level of success.
Hey everyone, I am Jennifer Jones, and I am here today to talk about the $1 Million Magic. Now, I wrote a book called $1 Million Magic, and that was about my journey of, as a new realtor earning 1.1 gross commission income in sales within my third year of real estate. So by year 4, I'd started building a team. I was too busy. I couldn't actually take care of the business that I'd built, all this repeat referral business and new clients coming all the time. So what I've come to realize since writing this book, so many of these things are so important, and there will be a link where you can register to get the book for free, which is super exciting. What we've realized, though, is that as people coming into real estate, so you're either a new agent or an agent who's sort of not producing the level that you want to produce at, there are very common traits and behaviors that are a part of not doing as well as you want to do. So I want to kind of touch through the differences between someone we call Lucy, who's sort of a negative Nelly. All right. So this is the exhausted agent person, has trouble getting off the couch, right? This is someone who starts the day defeated and the glass is always half empty. It's not full. There's no optimism about the future. This is a person where the excuses are endless. The glass is always half empty and the market is impossible. Clients are difficult. Other agents are a pain. Opportunity is knocking. It's right there in front of her face, but she's too drained to answer. So she's stuck in the quicksand of essentially her own negative thinking. So what is the result of this? Well, we are energetic beings and we sense the energy in others. And, what the issue is here is that clients are sensing her desperation. The deals will slip through her fingers. Very hard for her to attract anything positive because she's living in this negative place, this negative experience, and this is what she believes. Now, enter stage left. We have Magnus, positive powerhouse. So Magnus is the glass half full kind of guy. He sees possibility in every situation. His optimism is contagious, and his clients feel it immediately. And if you know anything about sales, you know that sales is not about selling a product, it's about an energy transference, right? You're selling an emotional experience. You're helping them recognize how amazing it would be to live in this house for them. So what does he do? Well, he visualizes daily. So every morning he sees himself closing deals, he's celebrating with his clients, he's hitting his goals before breakfast. And if you read my book, or if you do read the book, you're going to read about how I moved up to this small town, and there was 3 dominant agents in that area. I was new. And what I would do is every single morning drive the lakefront. There was like a half hour of driving one way, then the other, sipping my Tim Hortons coffee along this beautiful lakefront area with lots of beautiful homes. And I would literally declare, I am so grateful all these buyers and sellers are mine. And I would see the signs, I would see the solds going on, I would see the positive interaction. And I did this every day. Okay. So it's a year later, you drive the lakefront and you see all my sold signs. And that is a fact. So he has a magnetic confidence. Okay. So Magnus draws people in with his energy and his excitement and his passion. So the clients don't just hire him, they're also referring everybody they know because they're like, this guy's amazing. He picks up the phone when I call. He's constantly communicating. He's excited. And because of that, he sells the house quicker because he believes he will sell the house quicker, right? So, what's the difference here? Well, essentially, these two agents have the same opportunity, the same office, same opportunity for leads. So Lucy and Magnus are literally in the same brokerage and they're getting the same lead flow, same opportunities. They face the same market conditions, but their results couldn't be more different, right? Because one struggles to break even and pay her bills, and the other is building $1 million business. So what separates these two is not talent, connections, or luck. It's the story they're telling themselves every single day. So, what I want you to do is a little visualization exercise. So, I want you to close your eyes, just sit back and relax. And I want you to picture your phone lighting up with eager buyer calls. I want you to see yourself holding the keys to that new listing. It's a stunning property that practically sells itself. I want you to visualize the sold signs multiplying across the area that you service. I want you to feel the weight of that commission check in your hands. 1 million gross commission income isn't a dream, it's your destination. So when you visualize consistently, you can open your eyes. This becomes your reality. And this is going to champion you in every possible way. Okay. In everything you do, if you are visualizing and believing that this will be the outcome, this is what is going to happen for you. So excited. So, what is holding you back, right? So, these are some of the common things that we hear. I don't deserve this level of success. The market's too tough right now. My clients aren't loyal. I'm just not good enough, right? And the problem is that all these lies are robbing you of the confidence before you even talk to the client. And they force you to play small. All right. So this fear, I always say, like in any given moment, we can either choose to think a thought that is about love. It's a loving thought that leads us to abundance. So that's trusting people, believing they're going to do the right thing by you, or being in a place of scarcity and fear, which ultimately leads you to less. It leads you to scarcity. So that would be, oh, I started working with these people, but I really should put them under a buyer representation right away because I'm so afraid that they won't stick with me. Well, that energy makes the client want to run, right? Because most people trust other people. Most people believe that other people are good. So the problem is if this is the energy you're starting with, you're creating this kind of fearful energy from other people. And you're also going to literally create that experience. They're going to not want to work with you, even if they started, because you don't have great energy. You don't make them feel good being around you. So here's the truth. These are not facts, okay? There's stories you've been telling yourself. I don't deserve this level of success. The market's too tough. I'm not good enough. All these things. These are just stories you've been telling yourself, and stories can be rewritten starting right now. So this is another one. All right, so if you look on the left, you see a very flat affect person, right? So this is someone that's just monotone. Their face looks monotone. They look like they're bored or upset or whatever. On the right, you can see this beautiful, energetic, smiling face, right? So remember this, flat affect is a career killer. In sales, you will never do as well as you could have, if you do well at all, with a flat affect. You need to have this authentic smile. This is your deal maker. You're building relationships. You're building friendships. That's how you sell, okay? So your expression speaks before you do. A flat, tired face tells the clients you're going through the motions. A genuine smile says, I'm thrilled to help you win. I'm excited about your house. I'm honored to be able to be your agent and sell this amazing, incredible property. So your action step is smile bigger, light up when you see your clients, legitimately lean in with enthusiasm. Your face is your first impression, so you want to make it count. Next, your personality is your personal reality. So, are you happy with your personality? Your personality is not fixed. It's a choice you make every single morning. It's the way you show up, and that's going to be what shapes the world around you, right? So, if you're frustrated with your results, you need to look at your personality first. Are you showing up as Lucy or Magnus, right? Glass half full, glass half empty. So, if you shift your personality, you're going to shift your reality. And it's that simple and it's that powerful. And that is true. So, literally, every thought you have in any moment, everything you're thinking about life as you move forward, whether you're thinking a negative thought, you're going to create negative experience. If you're thinking a positive thought, a loving thought, you're going to create a positive, loving world. So just being very careful about what you're choosing in any given moment. Now, this is another important one: authenticity and energy. So people feel you first, okay? So before you speak a word, they sense your energy. Are you stressed and confident and calm? Or are you magnetic, right? So authentic energy attracts. And when you show up as your real self, confident, warm, and present, the client is going to lean in. So they want real over perfect. We all want real over perfect. We don't want a robot. They want a human who cares. Your genuine presence is going to close more deals than any script, okay? So scripts are super important though. So I just want to take a moment and just touch on that. So I'll give an example. In I think it was my second or third year of real estate, I remember a coach saying to me, I didn't have coaching. And he said to me, well, scripting is so important. I said, scripting? I don't script. And he said, well, do you repeat anything over and over again within your conversation? Like when you're talking to your clients, or anything you repeat? And I thought, yeah, there's a whole lot I repeat actually. And he said, exactly, those are scripts. So what I learned was there was actually some really great ones that would help me through asking quality questions of the client, help them achieve what was actually best for them in that moment. And I can give you an example, like, all right, so I go into a listing appointment and it is November and the client says, yeah, I'd like to sell my house. Great. So we go through everything and they said, I would like to sell my house in May. Okay. In May. Okay. Why May? Well, I think in May, my pool's open, the grass is green, all the flowers are out. It looks so beautiful, right? So is there any other reason that you would be wanting to sell in May? And they say no. And I say, okay, great. So let me ask you a question. Do you think you would get more money or less money when there's more homes on the market? And so they'll say, okay, well, maybe less money, right? If there's more homes on the market. That's right. So the truth is, in May, in mid-March, April, and May, those are some of the highest inventory times that we have in a market during that 12-month period. So our recommendation is typically you want to be on the market when there's less homes to choose from, but there's still serious buyers out. So we like to position a property in January or February, right? And therefore, because there's less to choose from, we see those as being some of the times that we've had our highest price sales in any given area, right? And so what we do is if we're in there, let's say earlier in the year, we would want to take photos, where the grass is green, your property looks beautiful, or even if you had pictures of when your pool was open, we're going to put those away. And then we'll put those out with green, beautiful photos when everybody else is showing snow when we go on the market in January or February, preferably January. And so we know what the next objection is. So they'll say, Okay, that sounds good, but I don't want to move in the winter. Exactly. And the great thing is you don't have to. So, do you know what the strategy of our team is? It is to negotiate you a long closing, 4 to 5 months even, where we can get sold for the highest possible price point and then spend the next 3 or 4 months shopping for your dream home. Does that make sense? And now there's so much more inventory for you to choose from, and you're also likely to pay less, right? So that's an example of scripting where it is the best thing for the client, but I'm going to ask them questions and help educate them about supply and demand, right? Setting a price to be able to help them net the most money when they sell. Okay. All right. So let's go on to the next one here. So, manifestation masters, right? Now, there are so many of the successful people that we've had even through history have been incredible manifestors. So even look at this. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. It's Albert Einstein, right? So think about that for a minute. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. So what you are imagining, driving through that area that you live where you want to dominate and sell, and visualizing your signs and visualizing yourself, waving at people and high-fiving and all of those things, that is part of what's going to help you create what it is that you want. And it was interesting. I just heard about a study they did. I think it was Harvard, and they studied popular kids in grade 8, and they did it through, I think it was like 5 different schools. So don't quote me on this. They had quite a broad base of students. And do you know what they determined made the most popular kids popular? It's not what you think. It turns out they liked the most people. They liked the most people. They had the highest number of positive micro interactions with other human beings during their day. So they go down the hallway. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Hey, Joanna, how's life? Hey, whoever you are. So that's what you have to realize. If you want to be popular, and you do within real estate because it helps you get more business, you need to be the person who is most interested in other people and kind first, right? So what people don't realize is, most people feel self-conscious to a degree or a little bit socially uncomfortable. So for them, walking into a room or going somewhere they're not comfortable, they're not just going to be okay walking around and talking to everyone, and that's a choice. So what I came to realize is, even for myself, my job, I look at it as my job is, in any room, I'm going to find people that feel uncomfortable and I'm going to work to help them feel welcome. So if you do that, you'll change your life for sure, because the people you're going to meet will be unbelievable, but also you're going to change your financial situation in your career. Okay. And that's one of the things we're talking about, sort of ties into this. Sales psychology, the power of reciprocity, the power of giving, the power of gratitude. So you want to always give before you ask, right? So have you ever had someone give you a free coffee? We actually do these. We do free coffee events. So we will set it up with like 8 different coffee shops for one day. We give them money ahead of time. Sometimes there's gift cards. But what we do is we create a postcard. It's like free home evaluation, a pay it forward, thing on the card, and it has the team information. And what we do is, as people go through, they drive through, they get their free coffee, free muffins, free sandwich. They don't know they're going to, but as they go through, it's like, instead of paying, they're given this postcard, and we get a lot of thank yous. We do a lot of business from this. Now, do we expect anything in return? It would be great. However, it's not an expectation, because we look at it as positive energy in, comes back to it 100-fold from somewhere else, right? So what it does is helps kind of solidify our brand within those areas that we service, right? So this law of reciprocity is gold. So you're going to offer value first. So it could mean sending market reports before a client asks, right? Like maybe you have some neighbors and you say, hey, I did a little evaluation and came up with sort of this little market report for what your property's worth right now. Like doing that once a year for people around you and just adding value without expectation of return, you're going to do business. So share helpful resources with no strings attached. And maybe it's not even real estate related, right? Maybe it's just, hey, I know you love, this particular store. I just got a 20% coupon off for it. Here, I'm sending you the link. So be generous with your knowledge and time without the expectation of return. So even today I had a call with a client's child, like son, adult son, and we sold for these people back years ago. And he had some questions about the current value of the property. His parents are getting a little bit older. And I don't have expectation of doing business with him. I was just helping him understand that it's actually best if he doesn't sell right now, and kind of explaining the reasons. Went through what the evaluation is, sent some stuff over after. I didn't do it to get business. I did it because I just look at serving. So if you look at serving everyone without expectation of return, you're going to do well regardless. So you don't need to like stay in the tit for tat. Okay. When you give first, people naturally want to give back. And many times this will be choosing you as their agent. Okay. So another skill that you can work on, and agents that are really good right out of the gate understand this. So a lot of them will have a very high social EQ, and you can read about that, go to YouTube, learn how to work on the skill. But ultimately it comes down to there's something called NLP, Neuro-Linguistics Programming. And again, YouTube it, I'll do another training on it. These are the basic parts of NLP, which is mirror and matching. So you want to mirror and match their body language, their voice, their tone, their speed of speech, all of those things. So if someone came into your open house and they're super high energy, you want to match their high energy, right? If they come in and they're like a little bit slower and softer, you can be warm and then just be slower and softer. So you want to subtly match their posture, gestures, and energy. And this is going to create instant subconscious trust and rapport. This is the basic level of it. I won't go into the other stuff because, again, I think that's a lot deeper. That's a little more serious in this training and nature. So you want to anticipate their needs and think like a chess player. So you want to answer their questions before they ask. And then you're going to show them your 3 steps ahead. So if I'm in an open house, the example would be before the open house, I want to know how old's the roof, the windows, the furnace, the air conditioning, what's the foundation construction, how many amps in the house, is it a 100, 200, 400? If it's waterfront, is it owned or is it not owned? Anybody else have access? There's so many things. So what school district does this feed into? Who are the neighbors? And something you're always going to get asked, why are they selling? Right? And what we always answer is, why is that important to you? Right? Because we're not actually allowed to disclose that in an open house, just in case you didn't know. All right. So when we talk about anticipating needs like a chess player, when clients feel understood and anticipated, they relax. They're like, they've got it. Okay. And then they're going to say yes. So an example would be, we always say, working with buyers and working with sellers, we can always anticipate what they need next. Okay. Because we've done so many of these sales and so many of these purchases. We know what a seller wants. Okay. So we have a system and a process set up for each and every one of those anticipated needs. All right. And that's what you want to do. All right. Oh, my fave. All right. Buyer's remorse before they buy, right? So this pattern is universal, right? And we'll say, hey, have you ever bought a pair of jeans or a car and then immediately regretted what you did? This is normal. Okay. So when you buy a house, sometimes the excitement fades on the way home. And then you start wondering, did I overpay? Maybe nobody else wanted the house. Maybe there's a better house coming. So this is the biggest purchase of their lives. And the doubt is going to be massive unless you address it proactively. So what we do is we have a little postcard, this picture of like the buyer first, like, yay, oh my gosh, I bought a house. I'm so excited. And the second one is like, oh my God, what have I done? Oh, I'm not sure I want to bring the deposit check in, which, by the way, if it's a firm deal, can't do that. And then they go into like, oh no, right? So what we say is, look, if you get to this feeling, just reach out and we're going to walk through sort of, what those emotional connections were that they had in the house as they walk through. So you're listening with like, oh, little Bobby and Joey, I'll be, making dinner in the kitchen. I'll be able to see them playing on that swing set. They can walk to school. There's so many kids in the neighborhood. For the husband, maybe it was like, this is big enough for the man cave I always wanted. So you want to connect them back to that and help them understand most people feel this way. This is pretty normal. And I can guarantee you that 2 weeks from now, a couple of months from now, 6 months from now, when you're in the house, you're going to look back and be so grateful that you did it. Because the challenge is that we don't know where the market's going. And this same house, if the market were to take off and start, going back up, it could be quite a bit more expensive and you would have lost the opportunity. And now you'd be in something that wasn't quite as nice. Okay. So you always want to address things before they come up. So what is the $1 million formula, right? Well, visualization is one. So you're going to see your success before it happens because your mind cannot tell the difference between what you're visualizing and what is actually real. And how do we know this? Okay. You're in a movie theater. It's a scary movie. There's a killer coming up the back of this 16-year-old girl who's standing at the screen, and you're freaking out and your palms are sweating and your heart's racing in your chest, right? That's because your brain can't tell the difference. Okay? So visualize, super important. Energy, showing up with magnetic, authentic presence of like truly desiring what's best for someone else. They're going to feel that. All right? Service, give generously, have gratitude, anticipate their needs, solve problems before their problems. Never go back to a client, that's in my book, with a problem without coming back with 2 or 3 different solutions where you already have it solved. All right. Just don't do that. Be unforgettable. Commitment. You need to stay consistent even when the results are lagging. You have to trust the process, show up daily. This compound effect is real. And this is your formula to $1 million magic. So you get to choose. Do you want to be Lucy, where every morning you wake up and you're feeling like you can't get out of bed and you're going to blame everything? Like, oh, I should probably switch brokerages or switch teams, or it's probably my husband or my mom or my kids, right? It isn't. It's you. That's where we have to get to, is that very high level of accountability of I am responsible. No matter what else is going on, the only way that they can affect anything in my world is if I allow it, because I'm giving away my power. Okay? So are you going to make excuses or are you going to make moves? Are you going to see obstacles or are you going to see opportunities? Are you going to drain energy or are you going to create it? So the truth is the market doesn't care. Competition doesn't care. Your future self cares, right? So you need to make the choice to choose to become Magnus today. Your $1 million journey starts now. Rewrite your story. The limiting beliefs, they're just old scripts. You need to write a new narrative where you're the hero who wins. Show up bigger. Break your face, light up, bring energy that makes people want to be around you. Your presence is your superpower. Master the psychology. Give first, mirror and match, solve remorse before it arrives. These aren't tricks, it's relationship mastery. So remember, Magnus isn't lucky. Magnus isn't more talented. Magnus just decided to think and feel and act differently. And that is what made the difference. Okay. So everybody has times in their life where they feel like, oh my God, it's just so hard. I'm struggling with my mind, or I'm struggling with whatever. And then you realize you can change everything. You can change everything starting right now, not tomorrow. You could start right now. There's absolutely no reason that you couldn't start building $1 million real estate business right now. If you're at 1 million, build 10 million. Let me show you how to leverage out of real estate sales. So thanks for coming by. I appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And we will be presenting you with so many more trainings. So go create your magic.